Angela.
Well, I always knew I had the abilities because as a very young child, I had out-of-body experiences. I mean, I'm
Wow.
not it was before I was 6 years old. I mean, I can remember going out of body. Now, as I got a little bit older, I can remember having certain dreams, that I would
Mhm.
tell my mother about, and then she would kinda she would listen to me. So we would kinda watch to see if they would come true, but I felt like I had this ability. I know I had it when I was very young. Now, because of the ability, I was very interested in the I always was interested in the field. I'd like to explore it. I can remember being a teenager and reading about ESP experiments done by a man by the
Wow.
name of Harold Sherman, who was a pilot, and he was exploring the Antarctic, and he was making airplane trips over the Arctic, and he was always afraid that if something were to happen and he would get in a plane wreck, and if his equipment didn't work, he was doing ESP tests with the person on the ground to find out if they could pick up if he was in danger or not. So he would come back from a trip, and then he would talk to the gentleman or who he was working with, and they would say, "Well, I got this at this time and this," so they could compare. I can remember reading all of that. I can remember just being interested in it because I knew that certain things had happened to me.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't talk about it much. I led a very normal life. Now, when I graduated from college, I was unemployed, and there was a night class that was being offered. It was an ESP, extrasensory perception night class that was being offered for $35 for maybe 8 weeks. And it was
Wow.
given by a chemistry professor that was hired by the local university. And this man was psychic, and he taught the night class. He taught a night class on ESP. Now, I met the man, I liked the class, but I had to quit the class because I received a nighttime job that I had to work because I had to make money because I was moving from Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised, to Washington, D.C. to work for the FBI. So I quit the ESP class and went to work. And then eventually, about a couple of months later, I came to work for the FBI. When I started to work for the FBI, the pay was low. I wanted to be an agent, but I didn't have the eyesight. And I was working with a woman whose husband was in Army intelligence. She eventually left the FBI to go work with her husband. When she left the FBI, she contacted me and she said that Army intelligence is looking for people that have political science degrees, which I have, because they're looking for analysts. They're looking for intelligence analysts, civilian, not military, civilian. And
Mhm.
she said, "You should apply because I met the requirements." So I did apply and I got the job. So I was put on an internship for about 2 or 3 years. I was put on an internship, and, after the internship, you get a job. Then they place you where they think you should be. So because of my political science background, they put me more as an analyst, country analyst, dealing with, diplomacy, politics, military strategies. And so I worked there. I was working as an analyst. I made some money. The pay was getting better. Now, I did not realize it at the time, but Army intelligence, and I entered the Army intelligence. It was must have been 81, 82, because I think I was at the FBI from 79 to 1981. So what I did is when I went in for my intern program, it must have been, I don't know, 80, 81, and then you receive
Mhm.
this job. Well, what I didn't realize at the time that I started working for as an analyst, that Army intelligence was responsible. They had they were responsible. They had a collection unit, an intelligence collection unit located at Fort Meade, Maryland, which was in a very private off location of people of psychics that was collecting. They called themselves remote viewers, and they were collecting information for the intelligence community. Now, I did not know that because that program at that time was considered a special access program, meaning if I did not have a need to know that that program existed, I was not going to know that it existed. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
this is what I came to understand later on how this all came about. The CIA were using psychics. They were doing mind control on people. They were under the program MK Ultra. Now, they were
Oh.
giving psychics LSD. They were doing mind control, and they were altering the state of a person's mind to see if beings if if you were give a person drugs, could they perform better psychically? Well, apparently, I think 1 or 2 people, I think, committed suicide. So Congress came in and told the C they shut it down. They shut down the MK Ultra program.